Lions Rock Productions.
Nope, we're good.
This is Jay Moore.
This is Greg Proops.
This is Jordan Harbinger.
This is Dexter from The Offspring.
This is Nathan
This is
East.
Sebastian Younger.
This is Rick
This
Marotta.
is Stuart Copeland.
This is Mick Gillette.
This is Andy Summers.
Hey, this is Skunk Baxter.
This is Gabby Reese.
This is Rob Bell.
Hey, this is Jon Leon Guerrero.
Hey, and this is Pete A. Turner.
And now, the Break It Down Show with Jon Leon Guerrero and Pete A. Turner.
All right, here we go. Joining us today on the Break It Down show.
I didn't buy.
You know, people throw around the word legend pretty loosely, but it's appropriate today that we are with the legend, the D.O.C. I would say that your contribution to hip-hop culture, to everything culture, really, starting in the late 80s, early 90s, is pretty immeasurable because most people know that you contributed to the beginnings of West Coast hip-hop. And it's funny that somebody so monumental in West Coast hip-hop came from actually West Dallas. But here we are. And I could talk about your musical contributions and what they meant to me practically endlessly. But today, I really would rather talk about something that means a little more to me, which is really the adversity that you have overcome and the human being that we've watched you become in the years that you've inhabited this earth, to have seen the pinnacles of success and then just wildly tremendous setbacks that you did not allow to define you.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. I'm a very spiritual guy, and so I give all credit to the Creator for this journey, and I'm just getting started.
Okay, I appreciate that you're just getting started. And one of the things that I'm really excited about, it has been 35 years since some of those contributions you started making. And for those uninitiated, 35 years marks the point at which an artist can reclaim their publishing. And so how's that been working out for you, Doc?
Yeah, my first year to start getting stuff back was last year.
Yeah.
And so all of the Ruthless stuff went into reversion last year. I should have all of that stuff back by next year. And finally I'll start getting compensated for the hard work. I'll go through the Ruthless era, then the Death Row era, and the next 3 to 5 years I should be a happy guy.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that, because you started, I think probably the first time we heard your work, not your voice, but your work was Eazy-E. Was it We Want Easy?
Yeah. It was in 1988. We Want Easy was the first song that you guys on a major level would have heard me.
Yeah. I remember distinctly hearing that for the first time. I was in the garage of my friend Ben Lopez, and we looked at each other like, what on earth is this? And so you really created something lyrically, and most people know by now that Eazy, he was charismatic, he was a business guy, an entrepreneur, but what he was not was a rapper. So you helped create this persona for him that really launched him into success. And then he pretty much spearheaded and then pulled everybody in NWA along with him and started the avalanche.
Yeah, bro, that's it exactly. And we all played our role in that experience, and everybody played their part, and everybody gave 110%. And thank God it all turned out the way it did. We've had a couple of 100 millionaires from it. We've had 1 billionaire from it. And now's my time to dig into that bucket and see what I can pull out of it.
Man, you have made a life that is chronicled by your ability to identify something and get after it, and then sit and just pay dues. I mean, as an artist, as a writer, you watched all of these successes bloom, and then when your record finally came out, uh, no one can do it better, which, man, I remember distinctly, when we bought that, I had a friend named Brian Brooks who bought a Toyota Tercel. And it's a cheap car. But then before we even saw it, he had subwoofers put in it. So it was like a $6,000 car with a $3,000 stereo. And then the first thing we bumped was Funky Enough. And
Hey,
it stayed in there for a long time. So, but the point is that you sat there and paid those dues, man, and made everybody else's records before you finally got your turn. And then when you got your turn, you came out of the gate. I think that record sold 500,000 copies in the first 2 weeks. Is that correct?
it sold 500,000 copies in the first month.
Okay. Well,
First
still,
month.
yeah. And as you did that, that was what was that? Summer of 1989, if I remember correctly.
Summer of 1989. Great year.
You had some time to enjoy the success of that record, but not long at all. And if I remember correctly, it happened oddly on November 11th at 3:33 a.m.
Ain't that something, bro?
Man,
Talk about divine providence, bro. You can't get any more divine than that. 11/11 at 3:33. That's
yeah.
nuts. Yeah.
At the time that happened, what we saw as fans was the emergence of a rapper who we knew was behind the scenes and finally was getting his. And man, we ate it up because your lyrics we knew were dope. And then your delivery came and it was so different and so new and yet so grounded in like, we're going to make this party bump. If you bought a $6,000 car and put a $3,000 system in it, it's going to be worth it. And man, it was so good. And then all of a sudden, you had this gift snatched from you in that your accident ruined your vocal cords.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
bro,
you recognize that divine providence at that time?
No.
How could you?
I was in the moment. I was just, if I'm being honest, I was just hurt.
Wow.
I was really hurt by it and trying to figure out how I could get it back. I was damn near willing to do anything I saw in my soul to get it back. I would have done, but it just wasn't to be.
Yeah. I can't even imagine the, emotional toll that took on you and how on earth you could have survived all of because that really was all that you were at the time. And to have it snatched from you. How did you make it through that?
A lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of depression, bro. It was tough, but thank God I was still connected and I didn't lose my ability to write, so I could still create. And so that's how I got past it, by still being able to create for other people. At least I could still kind of be close to success, even if I couldn't have it myself.
Did you have contractual obligations? Like I imagined that one album was part of a multi-album deal.
I couldn't even tell you.
Well, that was the least of your worries at the time, huh?
I'm sure they expected much more, but it wasn't to be, and you can't squeeze blood from a rock.
Yeah.
It was, Dre said it was over, and I guess he was right.
Wow. So, wow, Dre said it was over. You man, talk about your relationship with Dr. Dre and after the accident and how, in the midst of depression, coping, substances, everything just to, keep yourself going. How present was he in your ability to kind of pick yourself up? And how long did it take before you shook it?
I didn't shake it till 2020, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
And Dre's always been there. Uh, he's always been sort of kind of the big brother dude in this story. But he was busy blowing up, you know.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't have a whole lot of time to babysit me and my depression. They didn't know how to deal with that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And so, he provided as best he could, I guess. Uh, I never had to worry about money because I stayed with him most of the time. I ate good. I lived good. I was always in the place where I could do well. I just didn't have the mind to be able to capture that opportunity at the time.
Wow. Well, thank goodness he at least provided a place where you didn't have to worry about, eating and taking care of yourself. But still, you still had, your depression issues. And like you said, you can't depend on young people. At the time that that the accident happened, when all this began, everybody was young and everybody was navigating uncharted territory in this
Right.
tremendous success.
That's right.
It's
Not
really,
only success, but it was during that time the money had just hit, and everybody was dealing with, the disillusionment of people you thought were the people that we had just all worked so hard for this meteoric sort of rise. We're starting to find out that money brings problems and separation and anxiety and ill will and theft and all of that horrible shit that you have to deal with when you find success in the rap industry and in the music industry, hell, in any industry that got to do with Hollywood. It is a dirty fucking world out there, bro. And you really have to have your wits about you and God's grace with you to make it through that stuff.
wow. And then to top it all off, all of the things that happen with Death Row, meteoric rise, the, fracturing, people going to prison, all of these things are happening. And meanwhile, you pretty much living at Dre's house.
Yeah. Yeah. We decided we would start this Death Row shit, and we got a publishing deal together,
Mm-hmm.
and we put that money up so that we could have a studio and sign these young acts, and we started building that record. And the
So
Chronic
Death
was,
Row started with a publishing deal.
yeah, started with a publishing deal in '91. Dre and I did a publishing deal with Sony, and
Okay.
we used that money to pay for the studio and sign these young acts, and we started working. It took us about 9 months to finish that record, but that would be the foundation of everything that happened after that.
Okay. And that record, was that record the Chronic?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and the young acts that you signed right out of the gate included Rage, Daz, Corrupt,
Snoop and
Snoop. You put the stable
RBX.
together.
Yeah,
Okay. And then when the Chronic, so Dre as a solo artist, I had heard that he never had it in his mind to be a solo artist, and that you prompted it. Is that right?
Yeah, he didn't want to do it. He didn't believe in it. Of course, Dre never saw himself as a rapper.
Yeah.
And the truth was, he's really not.
Yeah.
That's not a skill set.
That wasn't his first.
No, but he could do it.
Yeah.
Just like Easy, it wasn't his first either.
Right.
But he could do it. And Dre's production skill set is so good.
Mm-hmm.
He can make anybody sound great, even him. And so I pushed him and I pushed him and I pushed him because we didn't have anybody else. And he decided, okay, we try it. And we worked for a while. And then Snoop came. And once Snoop came, he could see the possibility.
Okay.
And then after Snoop came, Rage and Corrupt and Daz and RBX, all of those folks kind of came around the same time. Jewel and Nate Dogg. And then we had the team.
Wow. Yeah. And then so in the making of the Chronic, which now we have, of course, the benefit of hindsight, and we can see that was the perfect. I mean, you couldn't have had a bigger, better, more amazing, and then also more timeless launch than the Chronic. And having made a piece of work like that, it seems now, because we have hindsight, like, yeah, of course that's what you do.
But that's what we had always done. That's building the Chronic was no different than building Straight Outta Compton or We Want Easy, really. It's just a lot of talented kids in the room, and we just work, and we did a lot of songs. Some were great, some weren't,
Yeah.
But when you find the ones that work, those are the ones that you use, and the best voices on the best songs, and the best writers or the best words. Everything has to be the best, and everything else falls by the wayside. And then when you get to 10 songs that you like, then you go.
Okay. How much ended up on the cutting room floor to get to 10 songs? How many songs you think you made?
A lot of shit, probably made about 30 songs, maybe more. And then the best 10 will find their way to the top. And then you add all the accoutrement along the way, the 20-sack pyramids and the
Booty Lee Farnsworth.
yeah, all of that shit you add along
Give
the
my
way.
money. Give my motherfucking weed, bitch. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was so good because it tied the album together in a way that made the whole thing, it gave it continuity.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I was taking this class at Solano Community College, and I needed a map. So I had this map printed and I had to carry it in the back of my truck, which meant that I had I had a 40-minute drive that I had to make with, that I had to do on country roads going slow. So my friend Corey Jacobs said, "Hey, I got the new Dr. Dre album. I'm going to let you listen to it on the way home because you got that long drive." And man, I bumped that thing all the way home and then kept driving around because I hadn't finished the record yet.
That's dope.
So good. So
it's a
good.
great record.
Really, it changed everything. You had that, the continuity of the story. It was so strong in every single category, sonically, lyrically, everything. And I just remember getting out of my car when it was finally over and thinking, well, the world is different now.
That's probably my favorite hip hop record of all time, just because it was just such a moment in time. You'll probably never get that again. Well, you never know. But
yeah, maybe other generations will have their moment.
Yeah. But for us in that moment,
yeah,
it was just a special time, even in the midst of being depressed and being addicted to drugs and all of the terrible parts of that time in my life.
Mhm.
Being able to make that record was one thing I'll never regret.
Wow, that's very powerful, man. That you could still be in the throes of that, and you could tell that in the midst of doing that record, that you guys were having a good time. I mean, it really came through on the record, and it gave us a good time.
I got a chance to live through Snoop, you know. Everything that they were going through was the first time.
Mm.
For me, it was the third time. And so
Yeah.
I knew what it was and where it was going and what it was going to do. And so being able to be, Snoop calls me his sensei, but being able to be his big brother, his ear, his criticizer, his just a person that wanted the best for him, knowing what was going to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when the Chronic first came out, I remember driving around Hollywood with Snoopy and seeing long ass lines uh, for that record,
Yeah.
and he was gassed, but I knew what was going to happen because I had seen it already happen twice before, and for him to know, I wanted him to know that we all made that record, but that moment was for him because he had made Deep Cover, and Deep Cover was such an explosive impact for first time being heard
Yeah.
that they was waiting on that Chronic record, and
Right.
they wanted, yeah, and so I wanted him to know it's your turn, bro. You're about to be him, and it was a blessing to be able to live through that with my guy.
So that's what you did. You took him for a drive around so he could see the lines. See that? I just imagine when you said that long line coming out of Tower Records on Sunset. Man, what an exciting time. Now, you had seen, like you said, that was the third time for you, but with Snoop, you could see going from the Chronic to Doggy Style that's really what had happened to him was what was supposed to happen to you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I imagine you feel, both of those emotions, happy for him, and then also you have to, I mean, you are the greatest story of the greatest what if story in hip hop.
yeah. I never conflated those two emotions. Like my pain was mine. I earned it, so I didn't share it.
Oh
Uh,
man.
my joy for Snoop was something that we built together. I shared that.
Mm.
Of course, there were times when Snoopy could see me in my pain, and Snoop was a great brother, man. He made sure, when I lost everything and I couldn't do for myself anymore, and Dre and I were not doing great, Snoopy made sure that I was good, you know. And so he did what you're supposed to do when it's your turn to take care. You do that, and so he did that. Snoop has always been a great brother, still is to this day, and I couldn't be happier of what he has progressed into. You would have never guessed in a million years that this dude that was used to be scared of the camera would be hosting the freaking Olympics in
The
Europe.
Olympics.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know. So I'm
Yeah,
happy
he's
for him.
transcended everything. He's broken all the barriers. and deservedly. So I'm really happy to hear that, one of the things that leads up to somebody becoming a cultural icon as he has is that he's a good dude.
Yeah. And I'm going to
So
meet him at the top.
you have now, man, I'm trying to transition from your period of struggle and depression because that was so deep, but I want to talk about how you emerged out of that because that's such an important part of this example that you give to everybody, young men, old men.
Well, you can't do anything without good people in your life.
Okay.
Nobody does anything alone. I give all credit to the Creator, but he gave me this woman named Erica, I do, and she came around, bro, and she did a lot for me. She helped me. For 4 or 5 years, I was like, man, fuck rap. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I just want to keep carrying her bags, and I was happy. She gave me this beautiful little girl, so she gave me something to live for again, besides rapping again or finding my way back to that limelight.
Yeah.
She
Wow.
gave me something. She gave me something really spiritually potent that I could hold on to while I was finding my way back, and that was love, and so love helped me tether myself back to this planet, find my spiritual uh, uh, space again, and
Mm-hmm.
begin to grow as a human being again. And then Dre called, and the music called back. They called back for 2001. And I got back off into that space and fell right back into some of the same problems that I had before. But like I said, it's all part of the journey. And
Wow.
in 2020, I had a revelation, a visitation, where God came and spoke to me, and he said that I could let that pain go. He said that I didn't do that he did it, that he did it for a purpose, and I was about to walk in that purpose. And ever since 2020, I've been on a slow incline back to my natural position in this game, which is at the top. And it may not look like it looked then, or it may look like it looked then. I don't know yet. I'm still climbing. I'm just getting back up and been starting to get back in. I performed for the first time a couple times this year.
Okay.
I'm still that guy. They still react the same way. There's new music with this voice. There's also new AI music. And so there's a lot on the table that's coming up, bro. I mean, I'm doing movies now, and I don't know where he's taking me, but I can tell you this, I'm still D.O.C. on every level.
Well, you have this body of experience that's so different from anybody else and so much road behind you that you can pull from that, man, it's just I'm excited about what comes next. I'm excited that you have a what comes next, to hear that you were able to recenter yourself. How old is that baby girl of yours now?
It's 21.
21 years old. So 21 years ago was when you recognized that, hey, I have something else here that I have to kind of center myself for.
Look up. In fact, that's fact.
Wow. Amazing. So now let's talk about I hear there's a documentary
Yep. I'm so
along with that new
close.
music. Yeah.
I'm so close to the deal being done for that documentary, man. God damn. I'm
So
been waiting.
close.
Shit, these motherfuckers, man. I told you Hollywood is a dirty game. And
Yeah.
so I learned from those younger days not to let folks take advantage of me, not to let these people take my art and go get rich and then I not get nothing. So I held on to it until the right situation came. And I'm in long form contract discussions with those folks. And so I'm maybe a couple weeks away from being able to say my deal is done. And once that movie finds its home, I think all the other doors are just gonna pow, they're just gonna open up, because that's gonna be when God say, let's go, you know. And I started building a school a couple years ago. And now this school is as important to me as this movie, as any record, you know, because I'm touching the next generation in a way that allows me, it's not only soul food for me, but it allows me to make the change I want to see. I can be the change and create the change that I want to see. I put a lot of energy into the negative part of hip hop development. I want to put the same, if not more, energy into the reemergence of the positive elements that hip hop offered um, before the whole NWA movement came, and bring us back to a place where, you know, hip hop as a cultural tool is used to create bridges that of betterment for our community, and not just leading these young boys to what might be a life behind bars or no life at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. The school could be the most lasting legacy you leave behind.
I agree with that 1,000%. It's called DEA. It's Carter Dreams Experience Academy. DEA for short. Not that DEA, the good DEA.
Yeah.
But I chose DEA because since these kids are so interested in drugs, I'm gonna give them some new drugs to deal with. You understand? This DEA will keep you out of the penitentiary, not put you in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about that. How do you convey that message to these young folks? Because man, it's tough to get through to somebody in the middle of their struggle to find themselves, especially when their circumstances aren't great. And how do you connect with them?
I think most of these kids are after the same thing most adults are after. That's commerce, you know, to be seen, to be heard, and recognized for what they bring to the table and make a way for themselves to live. Most of them think that because what they are promoted to is the dope game and street life, they think that's how they got to do it. Or they got to, if the little girls got to wear G-strings up their ass, or you
Yeah.
know, look a certain way or dance and twerk to get it, when you don't have to do that. In fact, there are a whole bunch of ways to get that bag. And one of the things that I do uh, to make my school something that these kids want to be involved with is I use all of those things, those same tools that the game use to attract them to the dark side. I use those same tools to attract them to the light side. You want to be an artist, or you want to be a dancer, or you want to be a director, or you want to be in AI or gaming, any of those things, I make those things available for you at a high level and can get you paid for it. But in order to be a part of this school program, first of all, you have to be enrolled in a real school, a traditional school. You have to be doing well because, it ain't for knuckleheads. Like, I feel like if I'm going to show you where the bag is at, then I have the right to ask something of you. And that's for you to give back. Same way I'm giving back. I mean, take your ass to school and do your thing. Most schools, if you don't run fast or jump high, they've taken out all the things that would draw a kid to school, because school has is almost, in my humble opinion, has never really educated these kids to become any damn thing. You just teaching them how to regurgitate facts that 90% are probably not even true, And so you're teaching these kids how to be workers. When I'm trying to teach these kids how to be entrepreneurs, not employees.
Okay.
Own your business, which is you. Respect your business, which is you. Know your value, and don't allow anyone to devalue who you are, and get out there and get that money.
Okay, that seems like an approach where you're using the system that, I mean, you just said that this is a system that's created to make workers out of all the kids, and that, that's true. That's how it was built. But in order to get the game from you, you still got to play in that system. You still got to go to school every day. You still got to check the boxes.
Because that's a character building. That's character building.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you're teaching discipline. You're teaching respect and honor for yourself and for the people that are going to work on your behalf. You know what I mean? Like, nobody gets nothing for free in this world. You got to work for it. And if you really want it, then let's go get it. But nobody's going to bring it to you and give it to you on a silver platter. And especially if you want a life that's better than having to take penitentiary chances to have a great car or to have a great house or to have a great career. There are those that are going to do that anyway, and God bless them. But they're going to learn the hard way, because you don't get to be an old man that's so dope. That don't happen.
Oh man.
That just doesn't work. At some point, it's going to crash down on you, and you're going to have a price to pay.
Wow. That is an amazing point, and I want to make that be, a main punctuation of our conversation today. But I want to real quick go back to the documentary, because it sounded like the way you described it, you're working on the deal. That means the movie is finished.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's done.
Man. Okay.
The best hip hop documentary ever made.
Wow.
I say that humbly, but I grab my balls when I say that, because I mean it.
I mean, anybody can say that about the movie they made, but you have a special credibility in that you've been back from the worst of the worst. So, your humility in saying that is definitely noted. I can't wait to see it. You have a deal that is in the works, it sounds like, and you said you're maybe a couple weeks away from really finalizing it. So you have the pieces are in place.
Yes, sir. And I'm trying to get it in theaters Thanksgiving this year.
Wow. Okay. Theatrical release for a documentary, even.
Come on, man. I want it all.
Yeah.
I want it all. And
Yeah.
I'm not taking no less. I want every bit of it. And I deserve it. So,
I say so too.
Yeah, I paid the price for it. And so I'm not going to I can't teach these lessons to my kids if I don't live them. You know what I mean? I know who I am. I'm not going to let a system devalue me or my art, because I know what it is. I've made great art for a long time. I know what it means to be great. I know what it means to be not good. I know what it means to be to suck, you know. And when I say this is the greatest hip hop documentary I've ever seen, it's because the shit really has very little to do with hip hop. It is a story about perseverance. It is a story about love. It's a story about faith. It's a story about survival. Hip hop just happens to be the vehicle it's taught through. It's really bigger than me. You know what I mean? It's a G.O.D. thing. It's not a D.O.C. thing. So when you walk out that movie, you're going to be crying and shit. And you're going to be happy and shit. And you're going to be wanting to go kick some ass, all kind of shit, you know? It's just one of them things, bro.
All of it. Well, you know what? I can't think of anybody more qualified to be the instrument to tell that story than the one and only D.O.C.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Blessings.